Yeah, welcome back. Wonderful. Thank you so much for such a insightful intro into yourself, your work, and the book. And then, of course, the coaching, which now we want to take a little bit further. We have a duty as coaches to really serve our sector of coaching and really make sure that people in our continent understand what coaching is and what coaching is not. And as a coach myself, I often find myself having to spend my first sessions, which we call the coaching chemistry session, which is the point at which the coach and the client come together and get to establish the rapport so that the coaching program can stick. And you cannot jump this. And I think we have a different understanding or different approach or different ways of explaining coaching. And I always say that coaching is an intervention that is used to assist you, the client or the coachee, to reach deeper into your own reservoir of capacity. From your angle, how will you simplify coaching for anybody that is your client or maybe is engaging with you on coaching? How will you simplify it for them?
Coaching, to me, it's a relationship between the coach and the client.
Yes.
Why do I say a relationship? It's something that is for a long term. We don't only talk about this problem here, then we are done.
Yes.
It's now the relationship where Mr. Zima will coach me and help me establish. You don't do it for me. You establish. You give me tools. You give me direction. You hold me by hand and say, Emmanuel, I'm holding you towards your destiny. You have the plate in front of you, but you can't see it. Now, Mr. Zima, you help me see the plate. Now it's a relationship, you see. You get to know me. It's an intimate relationship where you see yourself in myself. So you see the problems before I can even see them. So it's now, hence I define coaching as a long-term relationship between a client and the coach.
Mm. And of course, we do not coach forever, but we can have a relationship with our coaches for a long term, right? I guess it's what you are trying to say here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I could come into a coaching relationship that as a result of a particular challenge that you experience, and then I structure a coaching intervention, a coaching program for 6 months, and take you through sessions to resolve that. But once we resolve that, there could be a need for another challenge intervention to address another challenge, and the same coach could actually come back, but then this time the focus is to resolve a particular different challenge, right?
It's a never-ending process.
Yeah. Because I think we also have a saying in coaching that you can't coach on one thing forever. There comes a point where a person is empowered and is capacitated to be able to overcome that challenge.
Yes.
As long as there is that realization that the themes on which we coach can keep on changing, the relationship could remain. But you can't coach on one theme forever, because then the person, the client becomes too dependent on you. Which is very different to other things. Coaching is not meant to make the clients to be dependent on you. Coaching is meant to capacitate the clients to be able to help themselves.
You give them the right tools.
Yes.
You arm them. It's now giving them the right tools to go out in a war. To go out whatever space they enter into.
Yes.
So it's through a coach, somebody who has a sharp eye to say, I can see that you are good in this, but you don't see it. Let me give you the right tools to see or to help you arrive at that particular area that you want to address, that you want to achieve. Hence, now we can't leave behind the value of coaching into our lives.
We also believe in as coaches that, and this is the whole coaching idea, that every one of us come to us with something already that we can make better. Everyone that comes to us have it in them because they have a God-given capacity to become better than what they are yesterday. They were yesterday and what they are today. So I find that very fascinating, Emmanuel, because when I joke with people, I said, actually coaching is the easiest thing to do. They said, no. It's very difficult. And they said, what do you mean? I said, the easiest profession is coaching because a client comes to you with the resources inside themselves.
You said it. You are raising something here, Mr. Sam. You are raising something here that came to me here. The clarity. People have something in them, but they are not clear. You need to now make them aware of what they came to. Make them aware of what they achieve. It comes as a clarity. So I like. Thanks for the bring that. I like this lingo. The coaching lingo is so beautiful. You have it inside you. I must just make you aware. I must just create awareness in you that this thing you can resolve with the resources inside you. I must just make you aware that you have those resources inside you. You have the capacity. So the outcome of coaching is to create awareness. Definitely. At the end of the day, we have to create an aware. People have to be aware of themselves, have to be aware of what they can do. People have to be aware of the environment that they are into and what it can do.
Wonderful. So that's the one outcome of coaching is awareness. Now the other point is we said it's awareness that they need to become aware that they have the capacity. The other point is that of saying we need to meet you at the level where you are, which means, and in coaching we call it a perspective. You come into this situation, into this coaching session with a particular perspective. In other words, you are already made, you are who you are. I, as a coach, has to come to the level where you are, and then together we rise to the level we want to take you to. How is that?
Together we rise to the level where we want to achieve, or where we want to go.
Yeah.
It's you now taking us back to the issue of a relay. The coach meets me where I am. Even when I'm in a track, when I run in a track, in the field, I have to pass the baton to you. Whichever area I find you into, I give the baton to you. You arrive at the destination. We become winners. That's the whole essence of coaching. Reach me at the level where I am. What work can we do in helping sharpen you or make you ready to arrive at the destination? It's us reaching you. We don't try to bring anything new. No, it's you with where you are. The tools that we have been doing now is to bring the aspect of clarity, the aspect of working us hand in hand. You as the client and the coach, they work together. They want to achieve something. I totally agree with this point here.
Wonderful.
Level of where you are.
Now that is assuming that you have the confidence in yourself, right? And if I'm a coach, then I find out that you are lacking in confidence. That becomes the agenda of my coaching session with you. Because now, at first you didn't know that you have these assets in you, the capacity in you. After we make you aware, we realize that you are aware that you have it, but you are not just confident because you haven't tried it before. Now we challenge you to do something, to try something for the first time and taste the beauty of success. And once you have done that, the confidence just sticks. And I'm sure you have seen it a number of times when you have challenged these young people to say, you can do it. And then they do it, and I'm sure they come, they say, hey, Emmanuel, yeah, I did it.
And you remind me of something that in 2019, I went to a certain school here in Francistown. They were doing their prize giving. So I was sponsoring some of the best students. I was sponsoring some of the top performing teachers in that school. So we giving them certificates and trophies at the time. So after I wanted the trophies, I went them to the students now and said to you guys, grab the motivation from this, from today's recipient. These people have to be your motivation every day. That indeed you can do it. And then guess what happened in 2020 this year when the Form 4s opened their school? One of the students saw me. I was passing through the town. Then he called, Mr. Emmanuel, I made it. And where did I see you? where did I see you? Okay, I know. Last year when you were doing the prize giving, you said I can do it. So I was suffering from. I was having a challenge with mathematics. With this, she mentioned all the subjects that we had. She was having a challenge with them. So she immersed herself in those subjects until she won. She passed those subjects. Now she's at Form 4. So that was the beautiful moment for me to see somebody that I talked to, and then they are achieving. They come to me and say, "Sir, thank you so much for the words. Thank you so much for, So,
so wonderful. So that means, as a coach, you have one of the deliverables of coaching is to build motivation in people. Yeah, confidence.
Definitely.
But also motivation. They must be motivated to start.
Motivation to me, I take motivation every day because I liken it with bathing. You can't bath today then say, I want bath for the next 3 days. It's too tiny. Every day you do it. So as much as we want to build a winning mindset, let there be confidence. Let there be motivation. What keeps you awake at this time? What really say, okay, no, wake up at 4 o'clock and do this? What really say, okay, no, at 5 o'clock in the evening, I'll be wearing my gym suit and then go on road to start running? It has to be a motivation. There has to be a problem. What's the problem here? Okay, I want to address I want to lose weight. So how do I do it? Every day I have to cry. There's a problem. Now how do I address it? Now there's a motivation. Because there's a problem, you need to be motivated to stay in line now with what you want to achieve at the end of the day. So you can't live away the aspect of motivation and coaching.
Wow. So that brings us to the whole idea of having a motivation to start something. In other words, there must be a follow-up through action. And you did mention that when you were introducing your book, that there are those who dream and the dreamers. The difference between the dreamers who don't do anything and the dreamers who do something. I think you mentioned something like that. That the achievers are those that will do something to their dreams, which is what we call. Coaches are there to hold their clients accountable and make sure that they do what they said they were going to do.
I'm a firm believer of execution. I'm a firm believer in execution because I believe what separates us or doers from talkers is only this one single aspect: execution. When others talk, do it. See what I said. When I started Higher Thinkers Global, or when I started writing this book, I didn't know that today we'll be having this product now that we are selling today as a book to people. I didn't know, but that was not my interest. I was more interested in taking action. I was more interested in doing. That was my taking point. I was doing. So I believe when you execute, you set yourself apart from the rest, from the crowd. I always say that the bottom is crowded, but those who see or who taste the top is those who execute. their
Wow.
ideas, their whatever they think they can do.
Wow. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. You have very nice way of positioning these things. So I think we have defined coaching to a certain extent, and the other point that is very important is there are other interventions that are very common and everybody knows them: mentoring, training, advising, consulting, and I always say to fellow coaches that be careful that as you promote coaching, you don't think those are less important, and in fact go as far as proudly saying, listen, don't confuse coaching with mentoring, don't confuse it with consulting, always being fanatical about it, as if you are saying coaching is actually the only and the most important intervention. I want to suggest that you may come across clients that come to you as a coach for help, but when you listen to their problems and their challenges, as a coach that is very ethical and honest, you should be able to say, listen, that type of a challenge you have, I don't think it needs coaching. I do believe that you have a knowledge gap that can only be acquired by going to attend a workshop or a training, because that is a technical problem you are having. Because we can't in the drive to grow coaching destroy the goodness of mentoring, the goodness of consulting, the goodness of advising or training. In fact, at Comeza GOC International,
Yes.
we actually offer all those through various associates that we have. And by the way, congratulations, I've just signed your associate MOU yesterday.
So much. It's really a moment to live. These are the best time to live.
Yeah.
When you exchange, when you work with people. You mentioned something when we started this, the second session here, to say collaboration.
Yes.
Collaboration, Africa. How do we foster collaboration in Africa, in the coaching profession, or whatever profession we might be into? But today our focus is into coaching profession.
Yes.
How do we foster collaboration? Mr. Zima, believe you me here, we are seeing a rise of mediocre professionals or mediocre professionals who only want to reap people's money or hard-earned money. They only come with this thing of saying, I'm a coach, I do this. But when you look at their track record, they don't represent or resonate with what they are saying. They call themselves consultants. They call themselves strategists. They call themselves these fancy names in the name of acquiring money from people falsely. Like you are saying, as somebody who subscribes to ethics, as somebody who subscribes to good conduct, when a client comes to you and say, I want to be coached in this aspect, as somebody who has a good ethics code of conduct, you can say to that person that, you know what, your problem doesn't need this type of coaching. You only need to do 1, 2, 3, or this thing that I can suggest to you, as and then you are on the go. So the point that I'm raising here is to say, a lot of people who call themselves coaches today, they are professionals who only come because they didn't have money or they didn't have job. So the only thing they can do is to go onto the media and say, update their profiles and say, I'm a coach. Now people, because there's a problem, people are looking for solutions. They want solutions. So whenever at any point of the day when you say, I offer this solutions, they are coming to you running. But the question that comes to us is to say, are we able to handle all these things as much as we say we are coaches? Hence now, you bring me to the point of collaboration. The collaboration to me is the theme for this era. It's the theme for this. It's a new norm. We cannot survive on our own. Believe you me, even if you have money, even if you have whatever kind of you may consider to be successful, you cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. I was being reached out to you when we started this the affiliation with Cometa. Mr. Tima didn't reach out to me. It was his team reaching out to. It means now you don't do this alone.
Yeah.
So it's us now raising awareness on the power, on the power of collaboration among the coaches in Africa or in the world as a region, in Africa as a region. So you cannot leave behind the issue of this important aspect of collaboration. No one knows it all, and then you can always be perfect. You can't always be perfect, or me, Mr. Know All, or Mr. Know All. So you need other people who are going to help you now as a coach. Because the four focus for me is to say, let's develop the leader first before they can go out to other people and say, I am ready to coach you. I am ready to mentor you. You may be surprised, Mr. Sima, when I say I only have few people whom I call them my mentees. Why? I'm not a number person. I'm not influenced by numbers. I don't want to reach high number of people. I want to reach only a few people because I know if I can reach these few people, they are going to reach to other people. So we are building now a culture, a winning tribe, a winning culture outside there. So it's not about the numbers that we have under you that you say, I mentor 100 people in a year. No, that's not. Sometimes when you look at it, okay, in Facebook to get you likes, but in reality, it doesn't mean anything to you as much as results is what we seek into the profession that we want to that we are into.
Absolutely. So we just maybe to wrap up the definition and the difference to other related fields, we did explain that coaching is about partnership and it's about the coach enabling you to reach into your inner strength and capacity to be able to help yourself. Now, if you compare that to counseling is a bit different in the sense that in counseling, something horribly happened, something went wrong and threw you out of balance or caused the damage, and we are assisting you to repair the damage or reorganize yourself, to address to make you recover from the shock that you have gone through. So counseling is a little bit more about the past, something has happened, and we want to reorganize yourself so that we put you back into balance. That is counseling. And by the way, coaching originated from counseling. So there's a lot of relationship there. It originates from counseling or from sports coaching, but it is not counseling. I think it is always impressed upon the coaches to say that if somebody comes to you and needs therapy because they've gone through a shock and they are not okay and they need counseling and therapy, you should be able to refer them to somebody that is professionally trained to offer therapy. Not try to say, I will fix it through coaching. It's not going to work.
Remember what I said, Mr. Sam? We are seeing a rise in mediocre professionals. We are seeing people who are in short service, who are they only want to be everything. In coaching, can't be everything to everyone. Hence, in this business, when a client comes to me and we address their problems, then we see that this person has some other psychological problems. They have this relationship problems. I'm not a relationship expert. I have to find somebody who is good in that space.
Yes.
Now I have my own area that I specialize into. Let me look for somebody who is good into that area. So you can't be everything to everyone. So it's one important remark that you gave out here, that find the right people for the right for who can address the right.
It is exactly It's exactly for that reason why at Comesa we have associate coaches, we have associate consultants, we have associate advisors, and we have associate trainers. And that's our model, and it works very well because it helps us to remain ethical in our way of engaging with potential clients. They know that we will give them the person that specializes in that particular intervention, and that person will be our associate, and ours is just to manage the relationship. And I think that I'm very glad that we have a model like that, because I want to remain ethical in my profession of coaching or other services that I do. But I think what we are trying to say here is that all these areas have got a role to play in building our continent, but people must be aware that it's very dangerous to try to be everything.
Everything to everyone.
Yeah. Consulting is very different in that a consultant will come and deliver solutions. Whether you use them or not is your choice. Then they go, and then if you struggle to use the solutions, you call them back, they come, they charge you, they go.
That's the thing. It's a whole difference about...
yeah. It's very specific. It's about a particular problem. They come and solve it for you. And then if you are lucky, you will learn in the process of them consulting you. Otherwise, they give you a business card. Please call us if you are struggling. We will be here in seconds. But they will charge you for that. It's expensive. It's not. It's more expensive than even coaching.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So people must just understand that difference. I like the advisory. I think we are slowly building within our setup an ecosystem of advisors. You know, there are times where you really are under pressure to do things, and let's say you're going to address the leaders of SADC, and you are asked to prepare something, and you realize that, and this is happening next week, I'm not going to have time to research this. And I know Mr. Zima is an expert in this field. I just need an hour with Mr. Zima to get his advice. And after, I'm not going to even write you a report from that interaction. You came for advice, I gave it to you, you got it, and you left, you should be okay. It's a very, very important service. It is very uncomplicated. In other words, it's normally people who have got wisdom. And you hear people say the minister's the advisor. Yeah, or the president's advisor. Because those people have got insights, they've got knowledge, they've got experience. But again, they're very much like in coaching. You, the person who came for advice, it's up to you to do something with the advice I give you. Maybe a little bit different to coaching, the sense that in coaching it's a relationship, so I'm going to hold you accountable. Advisory, you take it or you leave it.
Definitely. It's you now, you decide at the end of the day what will work for you.
Yes.
Or you live as an individual. You are mentioning one of the things that this year, when I took time to really look at how High Thinkers Global was growing. And the advisory aspect, it came to me because I knew that we can't be everything. We can't have the right, we can't have the resources at all at once. So you need other people who are good in there, And part of us as a team here, so we have people like Mr. Tima here who are good in their services. Even if we lack something here, you may not see it. Why? Because we are in good hands. When we need particular service, we can always say, we are having a challenge here, Mr. Tima. How can you help us? How do you see it necessary for us to do this? So it's an advice. So you see now, sometimes as an individual, if you are to take it to the individual level, we may not realize certain things until somebody presses you at the back to say, no, but I think when you do this, these are the things that might happen. Do you see it good for you? Then if it's not good, okay, leave it. So you see now the value of taking advice, having to listen and say, let me look at who are you looking up to as an individual, as an organization, that you can always find solutions or advices from? So it's a good, important point here that you are mentioning here, Mr. Sam.
Lovely. Great stuff. And then lastly, we also wanted to distinguish coaching from training or lecturing, because in training and lecturing, I pump the knowledge and the information into the class, hoping that it will stick, hoping that the class will take something home, and when they sit for the exams or the test or assignments, they will be able to remember and reproduce.
It's the typical example that we're seeing here in our African classrooms, where we go to the classroom, the teacher or the lecturer just come with a whole 34 slides. They come present or talk on this. They don't present. They just go, okay, read those slides for us, and then they say, okay, no, can you go?
Yeah.
And read those. So you are doing it with the hope that at the end of the day, these students or these clients of mine, they are going to understand and be able to utilize whatever they have been doing. So, yeah.
I think one of the good days, you and I, we should hold a master class on these 5 different topics here, because I think some people are equipped to become some of these things, not everything. Not everything. And maybe, I hope we have clarified this. It's a way of actually making it quite clear that people, because I have a strong belief that we still have a lot of work to do to really prepare our market, to make sure that we have enough of all these things that I've listed. We can't always work like, on fashion. Something is fashionable, we all do it, and then it gets out of fashion, we all drop it. Then we do something, all do it, it goes out of fashion, we all drop it. So we need all of these things all at once, and they must all contribute to the growth of our market and the continent, right?
Let us engage more on this, Mr. Sam, because like you are saying, many people want to be everything, but you may find that such person, they have a specific area. If somebody comes to them and says, no, but let's focus on this aspect, they can now realize themselves in there. So let us tap into it, maybe a class, a master class. Let's host the master class and then create awareness of the differences on these areas. Because many people conceive them to be the same. They think mentoring is the same as coaching.
Yes.
So it's a whole. There's a whole lot of confusion out there that people need to tap to be made aware that these things, as much as we work with people, they are different on their own.
Absolutely.
But there's this interrelationship in them.
Yes. Great. What role do you see technology playing in enabling collaborations across the countries in the continent?
One of the things that I want to leave our listeners today with here today is that you cannot leave technology behind. Either in your individual spaces, in your families, in your businesses, in your workplaces, you cannot leave the impact or the value of technology in today's 21st era. So technology is coming either to do two things for us. It's either we disrupt it or it disrupts us. How do we take it as individuals? So it's either we are being disrupted or we disrupt the technology era. So let's take it. Technology plays a very crucial role into us. Today, we are talking of COVID-19, where now we have limited number of people to come together and have conversations like this. But technology has made it possible for us to embrace it. I'm talking to Mr. Sam today because of technology. So it's the value of technology. So you cannot leave behind technology behind. As much as technology is upgrading each and every day, let us be in a position to also upgrade us, the intellectual capacity of us, the libraries. This mind of us is a library. Let us update it. So hence, when technology changes, we are also in a position to also be relevant to the current era. We cannot go to a war with bow and arrow in an era where we are using missiles or we are just using computers to, okay, no, today we are fighting this, let's press this, then the world gets started. So you may see that we need to keep ourselves updated to the current changes of technology. So it's the value of technology. Coaching profession on its own, it has been affected because we work with people. It now means that we cannot meet our clients one-on-one at the coffee shop and in our offices. It now has to say, we need to shift, be able to shift. Let's shift from now meeting physically to now meeting through the Zoom platforms.
Beautiful. I think we want to be practical about growing the coaching and other related professions in Africa. And I think you and we are agreeing that technology is the biggest enabler, especially in Africa, because it's such a vast continent. Geographically, it's impossible to be everywhere. Let's just hold it there.